Hello and welcome. Welcome to everybody. My name is Sandra Goltry, and I am a registered dietitian nutritionist. And I am excited to be with you here tonight. I really am. And so before people start logging on, I am going to take a technological break and to get my window set up so that when I see your comments, I am able to respond to you and I'm able to refer to you by your name. So I am going to do that really fast. And here we go. And then we're going to jump right in. Okay. I don't plan to keep you light. Okay. But I'm really excited about this upcoming challenge. And so I definitely wanted to give you all the opportunity to hit the ground running and to have all the tools that you need. All right. And so my name is Sandra Goltry again, and I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist. And as people are signing on, please feel free to give me your name, say where you're tuning in from, and if you signed up for the challenge. So hopefully you have signed up for the challenge. And just in case, and just in case you have not signed up for the challenge, actually, let me put the URL in here right now for those, just in case you are watching this and you have not signed up. So we're going to start with that. Okay. And I want to congratulate each and every one of you personally for signing up and for participating in this challenge. Okay, it's called 3 days. It's a 3-day challenge designed to help you to get your weight and your health back on track after the summer. So this is a post-summer detox. And I'm really excited about this. This is my final challenge for the year, okay? And so I'm even more excited to have you join me on this epic ride as we, come to a close of 2021. And so again, as I see people chiming in, please feel free to share with me your name and where you're tuning in from. And I did just post a link in the chat. If you have not officially signed up for the post-summer detox, please feel free to do so. This live here is all about getting you all set up and so you can hit the ground running after the holiday. Okay. And so kudos again to everybody who has not given up on your health goals, your weight loss goals, or anything like that you probably made way back in January. So it's not too late. It's never too late to get back on the wagon and to get back on track. Okay. And so I'm going to do all my posting in the chat today. Those of you who follow me usually know that I do this with banners and stuff, but we're going to go a little old school today, and we are going to do this in the chat. So I have a question that I like to pose, and I always like to ask people as a means of opening things up. And so, have you ever done a detox? If you have ever done any form of a detox before, simply post yes or no. And if you care to share the type of detox that you have done, absolutely put that in there. There's so much stuff out there, it's hard to keep up with it. So again, go ahead and share if you have ever done a detox before, okay? And then in addition to that, feel free to share your name and anything else you want to share about me. Looks like I see a comment. Okay, yep, I see a comment. So Krista says she's done a detox. So awesome. Like I said, if anybody wants to share what they've done, great. And so the purpose of hosting these challenges really throughout the year is directly tied to my passion for helping people become the best versions of themselves, okay? And so best versions of themselves in a healthy and sustainable manner without taking extreme measures. So that's what's important, okay? And we have some common goals. We want to be able to get beyond your weight loss plateaus. A lot of times people get to a point and they plateau. You want your clothes to fit looser. You want to ultimately bolster confidence while developing some life skills, right? In the process, so that you're able, like discipline, planning, so that you're able to maintain this stuff long term. Okay. And those are just some of the things that we're trying to accomplish here. So if you can relate to that, simply say that you can relate to that. Okay. Just put that in the comments. But at the end of the day, I'm really committed to helping people to move forward with their weight loss, their health goals, and to become successful. Because a lot of times people really struggle with this thing on their own, and they put in a lot of work and they put in a lot of effort, but yet they're just not getting the results. So that's what this is really all about. Okay. and I'm going to check for comments. I'm going to just kind of, you're going to see me going back and forth quite a bit. All right. Hey, Katie, one of my present clients. Thank you for tuning in. And she said she's done um, all sorts of the digest diet. Lakeisha King, thank you for coming on. You've tried the 10-day smoothie. That's very popular. Very, very popular. And one of your other programs, and it was great. Okay. All right, so our agenda for tonight is we're going to talk about the pre-challenge form, okay, and then we're going to step through the guidebook. So if you have a copy of the guidebook, great, and if you don't, if you can try to get one before we get to that part in the segment, then definitely. So it'll help us help you along to see exactly what you need to do. And so in the guidebook is really going to serve as your roadmap throughout this 3-day challenge, and it's also going to include the schedule of events, so you'll know exactly what day I'm talking about, what particular topic, okay? And then we're also going to talk about how the challenge is run. And so I like to do daily check-ins with people, kind of usually in the morning and one in the evening. I love engagement. So I love it when people are posting, whether it's their meals, photos, anything, funny photos, expressions. And then also we're going to talk about the live training a little bit and replays. And then if there are any questions that I have not addressed related to the challenge, then definitely feel free to chime in and to let me know. All right. And so now I'm going to get into a little briefly of my story. And so I'm just checking for comments. Okay. So I just want to kind of give you a little bit of me in brief. Okay. Before we jump right on in. And so my journey actually began in my early 30s. And what was going on with me was my blood pressure was starting to elevate. And I do have a family history of it. But at the time I went to the doctor, I'll never forget, I went to the doctor, we get on the scale, and I had gained 10, 12 pounds in like a year. I'm like, what happened in a year that my weight just kind of went up? And it was a gradual change. I didn't, or gain rather, I didn't realize it. And then my blood pressure on top of that was elevated. So the doctor had told me, we recommend you lose about 20, 25 pounds. They gave me this sheet of paper that has this list of foods that were high in sodium. Cut those out, avoid these, come see me in 3 months, and we'll decide if we're going to put you on meds. And I was devastated, okay, to say the least. I was devastated. It's the first time I ever went to the doctor with unfavorable news. Usually everything is good, labs are good, everything's good. And so I'm sitting in my car and I'm like, what am I going to do? I really have no clue as to what to do next. And I was in denial about my weight, because I was like, well, how am I going to lose 20 pounds? And I just was in a bad place mentally. But I did what everybody does. Back then, it wasn't a Google search, but I did a World Wide Web search to try to determine, well, what do I need to do to lower my blood pressure? And back then, information wasn't as readily available as it is now, but I did come across what we call the DASH diet, which is dietary approaches to stop hypertension. And it is still rated as one of the top eating patterns, even to this day. For many, many years, it was number one. So I found this guide, I read it cover to cover, and I made a lot of changes. I mean, there's sodium hidden in places that I wouldn't have never dreamed of. I wasn't doing the obvious shaking salt on my food or cooking with salt, because I had a mother that had high blood pressure, so we didn't eat like that growing up. And so I was like, well, wow. But the things that I was buying, a lot of that stuff was processed. Even though I was cooking from home, it wasn't the most healthiest versions of it, and I did not know that. And so I made a lot of changes in how I was eating. I was able to stop the gain, but I was not able to lose weight. And so I wanted to be prideful. I wanted to figure this thing out. I wanted to not get on meds. I wanted to break the family cycle. And years go by, at least 2 or 3, the doctor's like, Sandra, you're at risk for diabetes. You're at risk for kidney problems. You're taxing your heart, because your blood pressure should never get 140s, 150s over the 90s, and mine was getting pretty high. And I was in a situation. This was the trigger for me. This was the trigger for me to get help. And if anybody can relate to any of this, definitely chime in and just share. But the trigger for me that said, hey, I can't do this. I need to just accept the fact that I need help. was I saw dialysis. So I was in a dialysis center. And for those who don't know what dialysis is when your kidneys have completely failed. So you're on a machine 3 days out of the week for about 3, 4 hours, where your body has to remove the toxins with this machine. And I saw that in my 30s and I was devastated. I was like, whoa, and the nurse shared with me that in many cases, not all, but in many cases, it is decades of uncontrolled diabetes, uncontrolled hypertension that kind of leads to your kidneys failing and leading to this point. And so, I mean, I felt a ton of bricks fall on me because I'm like, wow, I'm being prideful. I'm being stubborn. I'm trying to do all this stuff. And this is my future potentially because I don't want to just say, okay, I need to just take the pill. And that was a game changer for me. So that's when I actually worked with a dietitian. It was my first exposure to a dietitian. And she kept the philosophies. I was on track with doing the things and the changes that I made with my blood pressure, food wise, but she had to connect the dots for me in order to actually lose weight. And so that was the piece that I was missing. That was the piece that I couldn't understand and I could not connect the dots. And so working with her for 3 months, I lost 25 pounds when I couldn't do it in 3 years. And so I was very happy about that. I go to the doctor, I'm excited. And guess what? My blood pressure was still high. It was up and down. It was up and down. And the problem was that it can get so high was what the problem was. And I was mad. I was frustrated. I was disappointed. I was like, I did everything you all asked. I mean, it took me a little while, but I did everything that you asked. Why did this not work for me? Went to a cardiologist, and on paper, everything looks good. But for me, it was genetics. It was just genetics. They were like, we would have to do more invasive testing to really determine why your blood pressure can get as high as it can get. And I was about 34 maybe at the time, and they were like, mm-mm. They were like, it's invasive testing, and they were like, they don't recommend it because of my age, because I was so young. And I was like, you know what, I'm just going to accept it and be done with it. And I was bitter. I was bitter for a long time. I went down the rabbit hole. I was like, well, what's the point in eating right? What's the point in losing weight? What's the point in paying attention to labels? Let me just do what I want to do, eat what I want to eat, because I still got to take a pill. But eventually, the Lord kind of spoke to me and was like, Sandra, had you not made the changes in how you were eating, had you not lost the weight, you would have a whole lot more problems than what you're having right now. And I later found out that my vitamin D levels were severely low. This causes a whole another host of health problems. And so I was just heading down a slippery slope of health problems before 40, and I didn't really know it. So it was a real game changer for me. And I considered it a setback for so long because I was so disappointed. And then I realized that it really was an opportunity. It saved my life. It really saved my life as far as making those changes, because I was just going down a bad road. And so it ended up being a comeback for me. This what made me go back to school after 15 years. This is a second career for me. And I went back to school, changed careers, left corporate America because I wanted to have the credentials to go behind the experience. I wanted to save people from making the same mistakes, wasting time with doing things, or feeling like they have to do things a certain way in order to lose weight or to get healthy. And so, I really, really wanted to have the backing with the experience to save people a lot of grief. And so that's kind of, in a nutshell, how I got here and why I'm so passionate about helping people not put so much focus on just weight loss to where it affects other parts of your life. We want to make sure we address the total body. And people ask me, well, why do I stay motivated? Or what do I do to stay motivated when I get off track? Because that's what this challenge is all about. It's about getting back on track after we fall. I fall. It's been 20 years. I've maintained the weight loss. However, it's been ebbs and flows. And I will admit, these past 5 years has been a bigger challenge for me than it was the first 15 years. And so I have to practice what I preach to y'all as well. But what keeps me motivated is when I hear my clients say they feel better. when they have more confidence in how they look, when they tell me they sleep better, their hormones are in balance, they are now enjoying foods that they thought they couldn't have anymore. When their clothes fit that didn't fit for years and they reduce their meds or even avoid their meds. Reverse prediabetes. So if you didn't know that prediabetes is reversible, it is when it's caught in time and addressed. Lower your blood pressure, because I'm an anomaly, but normally when people lose 10% of their weight or sometimes less, or just change their eating patterns independent of weight loss, their blood pressure is in check. So the process works. Is just, hey, we can't do anything about genetics, right? Uncontrolled diabetes, when it's controlled, when it's been out of control for years, those are the things that keep me motivated. Cholesterol levels improving, and what about those cravings, y'all? When when people tell me that their cravings has halted and under control, those are the things that make this stuff a lifestyle. Okay, that's what makes this work for you. Okay, and so I definitely hope, and I'm just looking for comments. That's why you see me looking off. But I'm praying that this helps you, and just to let you know that just because I'm a dietitian, that I don't have challenges, because I have them too. And so I'm about to put a comment in here, just kind of let me know, hey, does this inspire you? Does this help you out? Hello, Deanne. I see Deanna on. Good to see you. Who else do I see on here? Okay. Yep. Okay. I'm just looking to see if I see some new names. So thank you for showing up tonight. And so that is me in a nutshell. And if I can do it, y'all, you can do it. Okay. That's really what the bottom line is. If I can fall off the wagon and hit the reset button, those are the things that I try to teach my clients. I want you to know how to, we fall off, but then know how to dust yourself off, get back on, and realize that it is okay. So it's all about empowering, and it's all about when you don't know what you don't know, because that was really my pitfall. We read stuff, but we don't really know what we don't know. So I'm here to connect those dots for you, just like that dietitian connected the dots for me. Okay. So let's keep on rolling. So let's talk about this pre-assessment form. Okay. Now, what this pre-assessment form is, for those who have signed up for the challenge, I'm going to email you probably in the morning this Google form. Okay. It's just a few short questions that's going to give me a baseline for prior to starting this challenge, so I can see where we are. And based off those answers, it's going to give me some information to where I can tailor our live training and any of the information that I give specifically to some of the responses that we have, because I want this to be a little personal too. So it's not just you have me for all 3 days, and so I want to be able to give you something that you can take with you at the end of this journey. Okay, and your information will remain anonymous. Okay, so you don't have to worry about anything being shared. All right. All right. So hopefully that is doable. So if that's doable, just kind of post doable. But like I said, they're very short questions, but it gives me a lot of information to be able to make this experience better for you all. So now let's get into the fun stuff. We're going to talk about the guidebook. Okay. We're going to talk about the guidebook, and I am going to, thank you, Deanna, for sharing. She says she has several family members on dialysis, and it's been hard and painful. Yes, it is. It's a tough life. And you think dieting is tough. A dialysis diet is tough. They call it a renal diet. When I was in clinical, you call it a renal diet. There's so much you cannot eat. So you don't want to get to that point. If a doctor ever says to you, you're at risk for kidney failure, you need to stop doing whatever it is, because you don't want to go down that road. That's not a way to age. You want to age gracefully. Okay. And I see some people saying they are ready to do this. Yes, yes, yes. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right. And so let's talk about the guidebooks. If you have a copy of it, pull it out. Great. If you don't, just follow along. Hopefully I should say things pretty clear and explanatory enough. So I am looking at mine too. So this guidebook opens up with the schedule. So each day, starting on the 7th, I will have a different topic that we're going to talk about for each of the 3 days. Okay. And so check that out, and you can see which, what I'm talking about on each day. And then each section will go into details of why this challenge was created. And so that is what you will see under Now a Word. So I'm going into details as to why I created this challenge and what I hope the purpose that we get accomplished. And so there's been a lot of concern with our health, especially with this pandemic going on. That doesn't seem to, we thought we saw some light, but it doesn't seem like we have any light right now. But we're going to continue to trust in God, and we know He is in control. But people are really more concerned about their health now than ever before, and so that is another reason why I'm trying to reach as many as I can in this using this platform. Okay. And then you will, so once we get through those few pages, you will see where there's a section that's going to talk about the meal plan in brief. Okay. And so this is after you're going to see the cover page of the actual meal plan itself. And then the brief itself is going to actually give you some tips on how to grocery shop. Okay. And how to use the prep guide and how to read the recipe notes and etc. And so one thing that I will recommend that you do is I recommend going through the shopping list. You're gonna have a detailed itemized grocery list, and to go through the notes that are in the recipes, because between the guidebook, between the shopping list and the recipe notes, you can mark off things that you probably already have. So we want to minimize the amount of money you need to spend going shopping. So it will have, between the two, you will have substitutes. So if you already have stuff, then there's no reason to buy, something that you already have. So definitely do that first before you do any shopping. Make sure that that is something that you truly, truly do not have. Okay. And let's see here. So I'm going to go to the next page, and then it talks about leftovers and how to handle leftovers. The prep guide is very, very vital. If you're somebody that's not very kitchen savvy, you're not too crazy about cooking, follow the prep guide. It will give you step by step on every single day what to prep, what to cook, what to freeze, what to pull out. And so you don't have to do everything on Sunday for the whole 3-day challenge. So Sunday you'll prep like the bulk, but you'll see you're going to enjoy the benefits of leftovers. Okay. So I wanted people to see what the benefit of you cook one time, you have a break for a few days type deal. So take advantage of that. So use the prep guide. You're going to have a visual a meal plan grid. So for those who are very visual and want to kind of see what you're making and how it fits over the next 3 days, then you will have a grid that is nice and colorful, and so you can kind of see what you're eating over the course of the challenge. Okay. And we talked about the grocery list and making sure that you actually only purchase what you need. Now, I want to talk about Monday. So Monday is, we won't see each other until Monday at lunchtime around 12:30 p.m. So I wanted to kind of give you a heads up on what to prepare and kind of what to expect as you're shopping and preparing this weekend or after the holiday, and then for Tuesday. So feel free to shop anytime that you want to, whether you want to, some people do it over the weekend. That's why I wanted to do this live on Thursday, to give people a chance to shop at their leisure. And so the meals that are coming up on Monday, it's an overnight oats. And so we had I said that we're going to have some oatmeal inspired breakfast treats. So oatmeal made different. So hopefully you will enjoy them. But this one is an apple cinnamon overnight oats. Very easy to make, and very, very super easy to make. But there's no need to add additional protein. I did want to talk about that. You'll see that in the notes, because the way the whole day is laid out, you're going to get what you need. Okay, so you don't need to do that. And so I'm going to look. So if you have any questions on any of the meals that I'm talking about while I'm talking about them, just chime on in, and I will try to look to make sure that I can catch them. And I see Deanna is going to go shopping this weekend. So we got a 3-day weekend. So if you want to wait till Monday, you can, or maybe Sunday and prep on Monday. So you really have your option, whatever works best for your schedule. Okay. So don't feel like you have to do it all at one time. Alrighty. So pretty easy for Monday. And then lunch is this tuna edamame detox salad. So if you don't like tuna, chicken is an option. So that's something that you can substitute with. And if you have any kind of nut allergies, because it does have nuts in this dish. So if you have any kind of nut allergies, then you can use sunflower seeds or pumpkin seeds. Okay. So that's one way that you can substitute that out. And then one of the snacks is this hummus dippers and cheddar cheese sticks. And so feel free to mix your veggies up. If you're not a bell pepper type person, you can do cucumbers, you can do zucchini. So whatever raw veggies that you like to have with hummus, feel free to do so. Regarding your cheese, make sure that it is either reduced fat or 2%. So with dairy products, you don't want whole. Like with milk, you don't want whole milk or 2% milk. But with cheese, you don't want to have the full fat cheese. You want to have the reduced fat cheese or 2% because you want the nutrients and not the saturated fats. Okay, so the saturated fat is linked to your cholesterol levels going up, the bad cholesterol going up. You can do any flavor, any so if you want to do mozzarella, cheddar, sharp, any your choice. Okay, and then oh well, if you want to stick to the white cheese option because that's the way the plan is broken up, you can do Gouda or you can do Swiss. Okay, and so there you go. So that is how you can handle that one. And I recommend, let's see here. Yeah, I recommend keeping it dairy based so that you can keep the nutrients intact. So I know there's different types of cheeses out there. So if you can keep it in the dairy, then that way your protein levels will stay in check. Okay. And then we have the roasted butternut squash soup with kale chips. So I think you're going to enjoy this one if you are a butternut squash lover. Save time. You can cook your squash in advance. So you can cook it in advance prior to the day that you need it, because then or you can buy it already cubed. And then there's no need to, all you got to do is put it in the blender. So those are some ways that you can save it. So you really don't need to buy them cubed, because sometimes you will spend a little bit more money with that, because you're not going to cut it up. You're just basically going to cook it and then put it in the blender. So that's something to keep in mind. And then, and I know it has a note on there about more protein, but again, you don't need to add more protein to it because it's going to be accounted for throughout the remaining of the day. Okay. And then the final snack is popcorn and a nectarine. So if you're not a nectarine fan, you can do a peach. Popcorn to make it easy. I'm a fan of the 100 calorie bag. So you don't have to buy the kernels and put it in a popcorn machine. If you don't want to, just get the 100 calorie bag. I like the kettle corn. So that's a way to keep that very, very, very easy. And then at each live, I'm going to go over the meals that are coming up. So you'll have the same information for day 2 and for day 3. Okay. And so let's see here. Is frozen butternut squash okay? Yes. Well, once you let it thaw out, because you do need to put it in the blender to make the soup, so you can use it. So just make sure you thaw it out, and then you just follow the recipe because it's going to already be cooked. Okay. So that works. All right. I will keep going. I don't see any more questions, but I will keep looking. Timing of meals. Okay. So I want to talk about the timing. Okay. This is very important. So breakfast. Okay. This is what's going to start getting your metabolism going and getting things jump started. Okay. You want to have breakfast ideally within 2 hours of rising. So whatever time that is for you, try to have your breakfast within a 2-hour window. The sooner the better, but you have that 2-hour window. And then to gauge your meals, around 3.5 to 4 hours. So kind of think about your day. Think about how that's going to lead into lunch and what time it is. The way the plan is designed, I think they have you, let me check the grid real quick, make sure I'm telling you. So they have a morning snack and they have an afternoon snack. No, I'm sorry. They have an afternoon snack and an evening snack. Well, that can change. So just know that your snacks can move. So if you're having a very early morning breakfast and 4 hours for you is like 10 o'clock, then move one of those snacks to that 10 o'clock and have lunch a little bit later. Okay. Roughly around 2 hours, 1 to 2 hours is how long a snack should typically last. So listen to your body. Gauge your body. So people's times will differ some. So that's why you don't see times on here. So if you need to have a morning snack, especially like I said, if you're eating breakfast 6, 7 in the morning, then there's a good chance you're going to need to have a morning snack. So I would say move the evening snack but you could pick whichever one. So it doesn't matter which snack you move. You can choose whichever snack that you want to have. What I do recommend though, is you definitely have a snack between lunch and dinner. That is what's going to help keep those cravings at bay. That's what's going to help you make it to dinner without screaming, okay, and without cutting somebody's head off. So have that afternoon snack. So roughly around lunch, kind of see where things are as far as time-wise, 3.5, 4 hours later, and then determine for you when you need to put that snack in. Okay, so the morning snack is optional, depending on your schedule, depending on your situation, but definitely have the afternoon snack. So it just kind of depends. Everybody may not have an evening snack, especially if you eat dinner a little later and you go to bed. So again, just listen to your body. Okay, and if anything pops up, if you have questions, then just don't hesitate to reach out to me. All right, so that's the main things with the timing. So eat within 2 hours of rising, roughly about 3.5, 4 hours, definitely 4 hours. Eat something. If it's not a meal, then have a snack. Okay. Now, how the challenge will run. And so this is how the challenge will run. I love to have daily check-ins. Okay. So I'm going to post things and post questions, and you can answer some of the questions. You can answer all the questions, but I do encourage you to answer some of the questions because it helps other people. So remember, you're not in this by yourself. There are other challengers, and I'm quite sure if you have a question or whatever comments you make, it's going to help them. So I have noticed that in the past that it helps others when they can see that, oh, I'm not the only one. If you didn't like something, say you didn't like it. If you had a challenge preparing something, say you had a challenge. Put it all out there because we want to hear the bumps and the bruises as well as the successes. Okay. If you saw a change in your behavior that you've not done before, you tried a new food and you liked it, share that stuff because a lot of people are not open to trying new things. So if they see somebody posting, oh, you know what, I tried something, I was skeptical, but I tried it, that's good information. Even if you didn't like it, share it. It will help somebody. So real big on engagement. And usually you're going to see a post from me at 10 a.m. That's when I like to do the morning post. And then I will do another post at 7 p.m. So just kind of see how your day is starting, how breakfast went. And then the evening post will catch how lunch and your snacks and dinner went. So we'll just kind of get a caption. And then I usually like to talk about that in the next live because in case people don't get to see the comments, it will help them to know kind of what's going on and what other people are experiencing. Okay. And so for the live training, I'm going to go live on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Okay. So my normally scheduled Facebook Live that I normally would have, that one is going to get postponed because I'm going to broadcast in our group for the 3 days. Okay. 12:30 Eastern Standard Time, and usually around the same time, maybe 30 minutes. But I try to be cautious of people's time and respectful of people's time because a lot of times I realize that is your lunch hour, and so mark your calendars. Try to make yourself available to attend live because then you have a chance to actually interact and ask questions, and then we can. It just makes the whole process, more fun when you are actually able to engage. Okay. And even if you're only able to stay on for a few minutes, you can't stay the whole time, I'll take it. Okay. All righty. So that is really what I have for you to help you prepare. Hopefully you found this helpful, but the guidebook should really guide you every step of the way. But if there are any additional comments or questions that I haven't addressed, you can ask them now, or you can always post under this thread, under the replay video, and I will check the comments over these next few days until we go into the challenge. So I want to make sure that everybody is set up for success. If you're in the grocery store and you have a question, just post it in the thread. If I'm able to see it, I am going to respond. But I will see it at some point. But I do want you to feel like you can engage. So I'm here for you. Okay, I'm here for you even as we prepare for the challenge because I want you all to have everything you need and to prepare for success. All right. And so it's all about having fun. I'm hoping that you get to see all the different flavors, all the different foods, and that a detox is not about juicing. It's not about cutting out food groups. It's about eating clean, and you're going to get an idea of what eating clean is. And hopefully you will be surprised at how much your body can change in just 3 days. So, and you're going to be getting a whole lot of energy, a whole lot of nutrients into your body. All right. And so get ready. This is going to be a different type of detox. Okay. A whole different type of detox. You are very welcome, Deanna. And like I said, any more questions that pop up, don't hesitate to respond into the thread, and I will follow up. So thank you for tuning in. Everybody have a great rest of your evening, and be safe for this Labor Day weekend. And I look forward to seeing everybody on Tuesday live. Have a great night. Be blessed. Bye-bye.